Hey everyone, how's it going? Kevin here with Push to Talk, and tonight I am sitting down and continuing my series on the best AEW wrestlers. Now, if you saw my last two videos, you'll know that in my first video, I sat down and I talked about the 5 criteria that I think make a great professional wrestler. In the next video, I took those 5 points and I applied them to one of my favorites in AEW, which is Malachi Black. Now in this video, I'm going to do the same thing, but instead of Malachi Black, we're talking about Adam Cole, baby. So before we really get into it, let's sit down and recap the 5 things that I think make a great pro wrestler. This is Kevin's criteria, we'll just call it. So those 5 things are made up of in-ring ability, psychology and logic, audience connection, storytelling and character, and look. And you can see in this video, I actually counted my fingers in the right order. Go watch the last 2 if you don't know what I'm talking about. So now that we are recapped and back up to speed for what makes a great pro wrestler, let's talk a little bit about Adam Cole. I've really liked Adam Cole for a long time. He's one of the big reasons why I really fell back in love with professional wrestling. And, you know, he's on my current Mount Rushmore of, like, modern current wrestlers. Not all time, but if I were to take a Mount Rushmore of the wrestlers today, I think Adam Cole's face would be on that mountain. So I first was introduced to Adam Cole a little bit in the Bullet Club. I didn't see a ton of his stuff in the Bullet Club, especially in Ring of Honor, but my real first big exposure to Adam Cole was on NXT, where he was really the focal point of that show for a really long time. I mean, I think there is a case and an argument to be made that says Adam Cole is the greatest NXT wrestler really of all time. I mean, if you step back and look at him and know the fact that, like, he was the inaugural North American title holder, he was the tag team champion, and he was the longest reigning NXT champion of all time, it's pretty obvious they kind of built that show. At least, you know, the last couple of years of NXT were really built around Adam Cole, and really built around the Undisputed Era as well. I mean, they called it the black and gold brand. Those were the colors of Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era. I mean, there was a point in time where that stable literally held all of the titles in the entire company. There's no question that Triple H and Shawn Michaels were really, like, preparing Adam Cole to be the next big thing in the WWE, certainly within NXT. But we all know how that played out, thankfully. I mean, I loved NXT, old black and gold NXT. I don't like 2.0, but we'll talk about that in another video. But, like, I was so glad to hear that he was coming to AEW, because I never thought it would happen, just based off of the fact they were putting, like, so much effort into building him to being this big major star. So when he did show up in AEW, not only was I super surprised, but I was really happy, because I think a guy like Adam Cole fits in AEW a whole lot better than he would in main roster NXT. Old black and gold NXT, different story. Obviously, he fit there well. I mean, just look at him. But if we were to see him on Raw or SmackDown, I just don't think he would mesh. It wouldn't make sense. I don't even think he would make sense in NXT 2.0. So I'm really glad he is here in AEW. To me, Adam Cole is one of the most exciting AEW signings, even over CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, only because of, like, what he means to me in my fandom as a pro wrestler, and how he, like, not single-handedly, but how he played a major role in kind of, like, reinvigorating my love for pro wrestling. So he's truly one of my favorites, and I honestly think he has huge potential to become one of the greatest of all time. I mean, 10 years from now, who knows, we might be talking about Adam Cole like we have talked about Shawn Michaels. So let's start to get into it, right? I've already hyped him up. I've already explained why I love Adam Cole just from a fan's perspective. But let's take my 5 criteria and start applying it to Adam Cole. So the first thing that I want to talk about is his in-ring ability. Adam Cole's insane in the ring. His moveset is huge. He does great strikes. He does great flips and high flying stuff for the most part. He even hits some pretty wicked power moves. Not a ton because he's a smaller guy. And submissions as well. He's really, really diverse. I also immediately think of his Panama Sunrise that he does off the top. That always looks really, really good, as well as the boom. He always nails that. And another thing he always nails is that super kick. A guy is spot on with that super kick. I mean, I remember this time he was wrestling Ricochet. I don't know if it was a takeover or a regular episode of NXT. It was a while ago. But Ricochet went for a springboard moonsault off the bottom rope. And as he was still upside down, Adam Cole absolutely planted him with a perfectly timed super kick right to the chin that looked and sounded really, really real and really convincing, which is nuts because of the timing of that thing to hit Ricochet when he was upside down like that. I could not imagine that have been easy at all. Another big Adam Cole moment that I think of in recent history was when he took that absolutely insane air raid crash bump off the top of the War Games cage through a table from Tommaso Ciampa. That one will always stick in my mind because the air raid crash is a really sketchy and crazy looking move to begin with. Doing it off of the top of a cage is just terrifying. And, there was also the fact that Britt Baker was in the audience for that, and the camera actually cut to her, and she was doing kind of an oh my god thing when that happened, which she was in AEW at that time. So, that's another Adam Cole moment that stands out to me and says a lot about how great he is in the ring. He's also really, really good at just no DQ matches in general. I know I already mentioned War Games and him once, but I really think as far as NXT goes, he's the best War Game performer of all time. Able to use the psychology of that style of match, able to hit really great looking moments with really, really brutal bumps and chair shots and stuff. I mean, this guy can really do it all. He's pretty amazing. Two of the big standout matches for me in the history of Adam Cole, at least as far as what I've seen, are his matches with Johnny Gargano at both the takeovers, the two matches that he had with him. There's also a really, really great match he had in PWG versus Sami Callihan. I think this is one of Adam Cole's last matches on the independent scene, but he has an absolute barn burner against Sami Callihan in PWG. I forget which show it's from or what date, but if you go on YouTube and you look up Adam Cole versus Sami Callihan, you'll probably find it. I know they feuded for a while, so there might be a bunch of matches on there, but the last match that he had against Sami Callihan in PWG on the Indies is just a barn burner and absolutely amazing and worth checking out. Though I do think my favorite Adam Cole match of all time is the TakeOver New Orleans ladder match where he became the inaugural North American champion. Not only was it a really, really great match, but it also really kind of springboarded Adam Cole into becoming the star that he is today. So let's get to the next point in the video, which is psychology and logic. And I think this is another area where Adam Cole really, really excels. He's a smaller statured guy, as we know, so he doesn't have crazy power, but he doesn't need it because he's just a mastermind tactician in the ring. He's a brilliant heel that knows how to bait his opponents into making mistakes, and he follows up on those mistakes with some really, really brutal rebuttals and offense. He does sometimes play the chicken shit heel, which is always funny, but that really just kind of folds into his master plan overall of just kind of baiting his opponents into doing something stupid. He rarely needs to cheat to win, but he's still able to act as a competent heel just by making his opponents look foolish. It's really cool psychology and it's really great logic. Obviously, the stories in his matches, he does the targeting the body part thing really well. He sells really, really well. And he's just really engaging and fun to watch as well. Just when it comes to his presentation and how he acts in the ring, kind of the psychology that he uses to make himself entertaining. So the next item I have here is audience connection. And I think this is the single most important trait for Adam Cole and what he absolutely excels at, potentially even better than any other wrestler in the world currently. I really think Adam Cole is the best when it comes to audience connection. So, like I mentioned, while he is a heel, his cool factor and confidence make him a crowd favorite. You can't help but cheer for this guy because he's just so, like, cocky, but in a good way. People absolutely love Adam Cole, myself included. Every time he enters, he's met with an absolutely massive pop from the crowd because people just really, really can't wait to play along with the chant, Adam Cole, baby. I mean, I've been at multiple takeovers, sold out takeovers, where the Adam Cole baby is the loudest pop of the night by a lot. People absolutely love the Adam Cole baby. It never gets old, and we're always excited to do it. I mean, every time I'm about to see Adam Cole live, I always think to myself, oh yes, I can't wait to do the Adam Cole baby. It's such a cool thing to experience live too, when like literally everyone in the crowd is doing it. And it's so loud, like you can't even think or hear or experience anything other than the baby as you're doing it yourself is so cool. I love that, and I love that about Adam Cole. And he always just kind of plays it off like he's super cool. When he does, he's like, yeah, that's me. That's what I do. He also has the boom that he does on the ring apron, which I'm really glad to see that he's doing in AEW. I loved it when he did that in NXT, especially now that he can time it really, really well with the music. It's just perfect, man. Everything about Adam Cole and his crowd connection is spot on. During the matches as well, he gets the crowd really, really involved, just with his mannerisms and knowing when to like pull out big moves. He's great. He seems so in tune with that crowd, and people absolutely love him. The next point that I want to talk about is storytelling and character when it comes to Adam Cole. So Cole's character, I mean, he has a certain kind of swagger to him that makes him a badass, even despite his smaller stature. He carries himself with a ton of confidence, obviously, and he's cocky, but like I said, in a good way, because he can back up that cockiness and back up that confidence in the ring. He can still really, really wrestle, and he can beat opponents with ease a lot of the time. There's really no, like, ignoring Adam Cole when it comes to his competitive nature, even though he's a smaller guy. So, like I said, he has every reason in the world to be a cocky jerk. Adam Cole is cool, he's smart, he's arrogant, but in a good way. All of those things being said, I think he's really a lot like a modern day HBK in a lot of ways. I know that's like a pretty common comparison that people make with Adam Cole, but I think it's a really, really accurate one, especially when you're just looking at his character and kind of how he presents himself and how he carries himself. His promos are also great, and he's able to deliver lines, as the situation calls, really, really well. I mean, he can deliver an absolutely furious and angry promo, and then, on the very flip side, he can deliver something that's just full of comedy and hilarious at the same time. His facial expressions, too, during matches are both intense and hilarious as the situation calls for, and he knows exactly how to play the crowd with the expressions. His music is great as well, and it fits so perfectly with his confident presentation. I think his new music in AEW is even better, and it fits, his whole presentation and aesthetic and demeanor even better than it ever has before. Obviously, it's influenced by his NXT music, but I mean, it's perfect. It really is. And, what's cool is like the music also plays into the audience connection. I mean, just look at the fact that like the Adam Cole theme song was the #1 metal song on iTunes for like a week after it debuted. So I think there's really something to be said there about how his music factors into the audience connection in general. Now, the fifth thing that we have to talk about is Adam Cole's look. So, hearkening back to HBK again, Adam Cole really, really does look like a modern version of Shawn Michaels. He's a smaller guy, he's got the longer hair, kind of a narrow face. He looks a lot like Shawn Michaels, but that's a good thing because he's not obviously the same exact character as Shawn Michaels or the exact same look. He just kind of has that Shawn Michaels influence. He's a smaller dude, again, but he looks like a pro wrestler as well. I mean, again, I already said the long hair and the narrow face with the stubble. He looks like he was straight up born to be a pro wrestler. He also really ties this look into his character and presentation because, like, if he was bigger, I don't think his cocky but can back it up attitude would hold as much weight as it does with him being one of those smaller guys. You know, it's like you expect this cocky, smaller guy to be kind of a conniving, cheating heel, but he isn't that at all. He's conniving, but he's not like a, you know, all the time cheater. He can really back it up with his in-ring skills and actually beat wrestlers legitimately all the time. He's a real competitive threat. Which I think is interesting because he is that smaller guy. It just all kind of weaves in together so perfectly, Adam Cole does, you know, like between his look and his audience connection, and his character, you know, it just really is the perfect mixture. That's kind of like lightning in a bottle, and we've only really seen once with like Shawn Michaels. And the fact that he's amazing in the ring too really just tops it all off. I mean, I think Adam Cole has it all. And again, I think he's one of the biggest gets for AEW. I think it's only a matter of time before we see that belt go on to Adam Cole. A little bit of fantasy booking here, but I do foresee Hangman Adam Page beating Kenny Omega for that title at some point, and then maybe Cole feuds with Hangman after that. But I think he absolutely belongs in that title picture. He's going to get that belt at some point. I think it's only a matter of time. And I'm just so glad he's in AEW, and he's such an awesome and amazing and fantastic professional wrestler. So thanks so much for sitting down with me tonight while we apply Kevin's criteria to Adam Cole and let me nerd out a little bit over Adam Cole and explain why I think he's one of the best professionals in AEW and maybe one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram. I am Push2Talk1. Tomorrow night is Tuesday, so I think that's going to be an off night for videos for me. But Wednesday we'll follow up. We'll do my normal Dynamite recap. Thursday we'll probably take another little break. And then Friday we're back for Rampage. And then this coming weekend I'll probably sit down and do another one of my videos in this series for who is the greatest wrestler. I think next time I'm going to talk about maybe Bryan Danielson. I think we'll have him next. So stay tuned for that one. And again, thanks so much for watching.